We've been told that if you work hard, you'll be wealthy, but that is not true. Hard work doesn't equate to wealth. Think about it. Think about the most hardworking person you know. They're probably not the richest person in the world, and it has nothing to do with luck or talent either. So in today's video, I'm going to reveal exactly why hard work doesn't equate to wealth, what actually does, and the things that you can do practically to go from being a worker to an owner. And if you haven't met me before, I'm Dr. Yosa, a doctor using her 9-to-5 job to build wealth through investing. The first thing you need to understand is you don't need to be an earner, you need to be an owner. Earners are people who trade their time for monies, whereas an owner makes money even when they're not working. But here's the catch. In order to be an owner, you need capital. So in other words, you need money. And that capital can either come from two places. A, you can raise it through investors, financing, getting partnerships, or B, you save it. And that's typically the money that you'd get from a salary, but rather than spending it all, it's putting some of that money aside. And this is where most people fail because they focus more on trying to earn more money rather than trying to own more assets. Once you have capital, you then want to apply something known as leverage, and that's when money begins to multiply in incredible amounts. Leverage is all about disconnecting your time from your income. When you're in a regular job, typically speaking, you stop getting paid the moment you finish your job, whereas with leverage, you continue to make money long after you've done the work. So if I was to put this practically, let's say you were selling fire logs, you'd only get paid up until the point where the fire logs are gone, and then once they're gone, you need to go back, chop them, stack them, and then sell them. However, if you owned an apple tree, it'd be completely different. Why? Because you plant that apple tree once, you take care of it, and then year after year it produces fruit, which you sell. And with the apples, you can make apple juice, you can sell the seeds, you can even plant more apple trees. The trick here is the tree itself is doing the work for you, and it doesn't need you to be there every single minute. And there's different forms of leverage. You've got money leverage, which is when you invest in assets and they generate money. There's people leverage, where you build a team, you hire the best talent, and work continues to happen without you having to put your direct constant input. There's technology leverage, where you can use systems and software to serve thousands of people with the same effort that you would do for one person. And then there's content leverage, where you create something once like this video and it can help loads of people at one time. And the thing is about leverage, people think leverage is all about working less, but that's not actually true. Leverage is more so front-loading the work into things that keep paying you afterwards. And you're probably thinking, well, in order to be an owner, I need to have a business that has 50,000 employees and is international, but that's actually not true. Ownership comes in different shapes and sizes, and most of them are probably in your reach now. If you start now and think long-term, the compounding effect can be absolutely insane. So let's go through it. Let's say you are a creative and you love writing. You can write a book, you can write a course, you can write a song. Once you do the work, you can then sell the license for that work for years. Every time someone accesses your course or uses your creative work, they have to pay you for that. Intellectual property is super valuable. Another example is property, and I can hear it already. House prices in the UK are rising and it's super hard to get onto the property ladder. Yes, those things are true. However, there are so many different ways in which you can be involved in property without having to put down a large sum of money up front. So you could do Airbnb, you can manage a property on behalf of the actual owner, or you can save for a number of years and take advantage of different property ownership schemes and then jump onto the ladder yourself. But regardless of whatever method you use to enter into property space, by owning property, you can generate rental income, and you can also benefit from capital appreciation because house prices tend to increase over a period of time. And another example is company shares. If you own a share of a company, then if that company does well, you will get a percentage of the profits. A really easy way to get into this is by investing in the stock market, looking for companies that pay dividends to their shareholders, or you could even try angel investing, although some will argue that that is a little bit more riskier than investing in the stock market. So it's really important that you do your research. The beauty of being an owner is your income isn't tied to the hours that you work. And the beauty of the examples that I've given is you can continue to make money even when you're not working. And that leads nicely into time actually being a trap. Time will always be your biggest limiting factor in life, and in the context of this video, it will be the biggest limiting factor to how much wealth you can create if you're not strategic and if you don't take advantage of leverage early on. Think about it. If your income is solely based on how many hours you work, then your total income is capped, even if you're making £200 an hour, because there's only so many hours that you can work. You still will need to sleep, you'll need to eat, you'll need to look after yourself, and you'll need to spend time with those around you if you choose to. However, when you transition from a worker to an earner, you actually break that cap because your assets work 24/7, weekends, holidays, when you're asleep, and so your earning potential stops being capped. Okay, cool. So you're probably thinking, well, Dr. Yosa, how am I going to get from a earner to an owner? And I'm going to break it down to you in 6 steps. So the first step is you need to be honest with yourself and you need to decide what team you want to play for. At the end of the day, unfortunately, there are aspects of life that are a little bit like a game, and you need to decide if you want to continue on the trajectory of trading your time for money, or if you want to go to the side of using your assets to create money. And once you've made a decision, you then need to do step 2, which is you need to do a self-audit. And I know a self-audit sounds really technical, but it's just taking account of where you are. Most people panic and they think that they have nothing, they can't use anything, they don't have any skills, but that's not true. You have so many skills that you may or may not be aware of, and the best way to do this is by taking account. Think about the knowledge that you've gained through your job or through hobbies. Think about the skills that you've built, the relationships that you have around you that could potentially open doors. And if you've got free time, think about how you can use your free time to invest into a better future or the dream life you'd like to create for yourself. Step 3, you want to create your ownership capital. Like I said at the start of this video, ownership requires money. And it doesn't have to be millions, it doesn't have to be hundreds of thousands, but you do need a level of money. So you need to think, how am I going to get that money? If you have a job now, then you could use the salary from your day job to acquire things which you can own, and that's what this channel is about, and that's something that I've done personally. I used my 9-to-5 job salary to jump into the property ladder and grow a portfolio. If you are going to use this method, it is important that you save, you budget, and you try and fight against lifestyle inflation, which is when you spend more than you earn. Or if you have a rich friend or access to a pot of money, you could use that to acquire ownership. Step 4, I want you to start with small ownership plays. It's so easy to say, well, if I had $10 million, I would do X, Y, Z. That is true, but you need to also demonstrate to the world that you are a good steward of the little. And so you can actually start now. You can start small by publishing an ebook and selling it online, create something really beautiful and sell it on Etsy. You could buy shares of an index fund or a company. You could angel invest a small amount using the different angel investing sites. You can launch a small business and see how that goes, and if you even enjoy the process of running a business. But the key thing is you can use the skill sets you've identified in your audit to start something now. And then once you do, step 5 is all about reinvesting. You don't need to quit your job today or tomorrow, but you can shift your focus from being an earner to an owner. And when you do start to generate money from being an owner, even if it's only $50 or £20, rather than spending that money, you want to reinvest it back into whatever it is that gave you the source of money in the first place, and think about how you can scale it, how you can grow it so that that $50 can become $100 and then $200 and then $500. And over time, you will find that the ownership income will surpass the income of your day job. We see it all the time with people who we follow online that have quit their 9-to-5 job to do things that they are genuinely passionate about. And then the last point is accepting that hard work doesn't make you rich. Hard work only makes you rich if you are building something that you own. Working hard in the wrong game won't get you the results that you want. If anything, it will make you tired. Whereas if you work smart by increasing the number of things that you own, you can have a great life, and earning potential is no longer capped because you're no longer tied to the concept of time. That brings me to the end of this video. As I said at the start, hard work doesn't make you wealthy. Working hard is like a hamster who is running faster and faster on the wheel, whereas the actual flex is being the owner of the wheel. Now that's it from me before I yap on. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. What do you think about the concept of hard work equating to wealth? Do you agree with what I've said? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section. And if you're interested in investing and going from a worker to an owner, I'm going to put some really cool resources in the description box, so definitely check them out. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.